First cast at the new spot. I didn't get a fish on the water plopper. Get up here.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Bash and Bass TV. I'm Justin, and today we're doing a review. So quick backstory, I got a bonus check from work and decided to upgrade my fishing gear. I wanted a new, good quality reel. Now I have a Lose Mach 1 and I have an Abu Garcia Black Max, which are great beginner reels. They're great to learn on and they're a lot of fun. I enjoy them. They've served me very well and I will continue to use those. But I wanted to get a much better quality reel that'll last a lot longer than those. So I started doing research and ended up wanting the Shimano DC. Problem was that the back orders for those are like November. No stores are carrying them. I was talking to my buddy Mike from Texas Fishing Force and he's like, hey, check out the store Anglers Anonymous out here in West Houston. They have some Shimanos. So I go there and most of them are left-handed except for one that I decided to buy, which was the SLX DC. Mike told me that he has a friend that has both the Corrado and the SLX, and he actually prefers the SLX DC over the Corrado. So I was like, all right, I'm going to trust you. You've never steered me wrong. You know your stuff with fishing. And I bought it. So that's what this review is going to be about today. I paired it with a 7'2" Lose Mach 1 speed stick rod, medium heavy. And the reason why I chose that is, honestly, it was on clearance at a store. The tip was broken. I took it back to Anglers Anonymous for $8. They fixed it. So I got a decent reel or rod for $40 total after it was repaired. And I'm very happy with that rod. I mean, it's pretty damn good. So right now, let's look over this reel, all right? Obviously, you're gonna take it out of the box. The first thing I always look at are the grips and the handles. And these things are really high quality rubber. They're not plastic. Your hands aren't slipping off of these when you're fighting a fish and your hands are all wet. I mean, it has all the settings of a normal baitcaster. You got your spool right here. You got your drag. The thing that I love about this though is the brake system is a little wheel right here. Compare that to my Mach 1 and it's a little knob. I don't like this as much. It's a little harder to turn for me just because I got really fat sausage fingers. So I prefer this wheel. It works really well for me. Now opening this reel up, there's actually a little lever here and it even says open right here. So you just flip that up and then turn it and then boom. Now, I'm not gonna take the entire thing apart other than to show you this. This little housing right here, this is where the microchip is. And it's actually a self-winding microchip, kind of like an old stopwatch. So when you cast it, that's when you give it the energy to work. It doesn't need batteries or anything. It's encased in here. It is waterproof. So if you drop this in the water, like a lake or the ocean, whatever, it's not going to damage the chip. So I thought that was really cool. All right, so we're going to put it back together now. Just put it in, turn it, and let's see. Push the knob forward, locked in place, and it's done. All right, now we're going to go to the on-the-water footage. I used my Shimano and I used my Lose Mach 1 side by side. And this isn't a comparison to see which one's better. We know which one's going to be better. And it's not a knock on the Lose product. It is a great product. It's just the Shimano is a more advanced reel than what the Mach 1 is. It's a beginner reel. And it served me well. I love it. I will always use it. This is not a knock on the Lose. This is just to show you this is what a beginner reel looks like when you cast out and what it sounds like and how it works in the water as opposed to the Shimano. That's all that is. So if you're watching Lose, I'm not hating on you guys. Still love you. So in the video, I used a whopper plopper mainly because it has a lot of the weight, so I can get a huge cast out of it, as well as showing you the speed of the reel in the retrieve. It is an 8.2 to 1 gear ratio. I think in the video I say 8.4, so I'm correcting that now. Ignore 8.4. It's 8.2. And so I wanted to show you the speed of the retrieve, full speed from this reel compared to the Lose Mach 1, which is 7.1 to 1 gear ratio, I believe. So that's the main reason why I'm using that. I use a chatterbait with it as well because I love chatterbaits, and I just decided I haven't caught a fish on one lately and threw it on there. Had some success with it. Still have yet to catch a fish using Texas rig on it though, which is really weird for me. I usually catch a lot using the Guggenbait stuff, and they just haven't been wanting those lately at all. So check out the footage, and then we'll come back for my final thoughts on this reel.
All right, so first what we're gonna do is throw the Shimano. I'm seeing some fish blowing up over here, so hopefully we get some fish, but if not, it's cool. It's just to compare. So immediately I can tell you that this chip, you hear that weird that wee noise, that's the chip. Just telling it, it's basically helping you prevent backlash. I have an 8.4 to 1 gear ratio on this. It was the only one they had left. So this is teaching me to reel a little bit slower to get the same actions as a 7.1 or the 6.4 to 1 gear ratios that I have my other reels. The thing though, I mean, if you reel it in fast, it'll get back to you quick. It's extremely accurate. It goes where you want it to. The rod helps with that, with it being 7'2" instead of 7 foot with the other reel. I will say that this thing is a lot smoother of a retrieve. You can feel it when you reel it in. It's a ton smoother. And I clean my reels at least once a month, if not every 2 weeks. It's a habitual thing now. I want to make sure that they're in the best possible shape, and I'm obsessed with it. So I want to make sure that they're in good working order. This thing still, no matter what, is better than them, even after I clean them directly. Let me cast one out over here, and I'm going to do just a real quick speed, just so you see what 8.4 to 1 looks like when you reel it in quick. Like that's what it looks like, 8.4 to 1. Like I mean, it's flying. So I think they said with every turn of the crank, you reel in like something like 36 inches or something like that with this reel. So you really have to slow it down if you're going to use a topwater or a swimming bait or anything like that. You really have to know what you're doing. And that's why I'm using also the topwater, so you can see. Like, this is how slow I'm turning the crank to get that reaction. If I fish it normal, like my other ones, that's what it would look like. Alright, so the last thing I'm going to do before I switch over to my lures to show you some of the stuff with the lures is the distance test. Just a backlash. I did get a backlash. That's probably only the second backlash I've gotten on this reel. Don't tell people it doesn't backlash on you. As you can see, it does backlash. It's just much more rare than when you use other reels. That sucked. Just when I was trying to do the distance test as well. So, alright, let's try it again, huh? And that's just to flick the wrist. I wasn't actually trying really hard there. Like, I can cast from here to the other side of that bank over there and hit it right at the edge. No problems. Like, I've done that before. Where I saw a blow up and I just went, oh, really? Alright, now I'm at my lose. Oh, it's a 6'10". I thought it was a 7 foot. So it's only a 6'10" rod. Medium heavy. Same weight of whopper plopper. This one's 7.1 to 1 gear ratio. And it feels different when you cast. Like, you can definitely feel the difference. And this is how fast I have to reel in to get the exact same speed out of the whopper plopper. Like this. To get that same speed. So it's obviously, you know, the gear ratio. I just wanted to show you the difference. This, I can feel the reel. It's not as smooth on the inside, the mechanics and stuff. I mean, this is literally no bells and whistles. It's just the bare bones beginner reel. Still casts quite well, but I have to put a little more muscle behind it. And I'll tell you, the Shimano spoils you. Like, sometimes you'll get backlashes on your beginner reels when you switch back because you're so used to the way the Shimano works. So just have to spend another $200 to get another Shimano reel. I can just have those instead of beginner ones, and I don't have to worry about it anymore. So I mean, I can still launch it with this thing, but I have to change the settings on the brakes and the spool tension. So I'll say with the 7.1 to 1 gear ratio, I put mainly top waters. I do my swimming baits, my chatter baits, and all that stuff on that reel because it goes so fast. I'll use the top water so I can see what I'm doing with it. But other than that, I like to stick with my Texas rig stuff on that reel specifically because it might be moving too fast under the water and I might not know it. I'm hoping to get a fish for y'all here. Oh. And as I say, a fish smacks it but didn't really commit to the bite. Now, here's the distance test. So I was able to hit it near the bank over there. It got close, but fell about 5 feet shorter than the Shimano. All right, let's do one more cast. We'll do the speed. We'll do the speed one with it right now, so you can see. So it still moves quite quickly, but nowhere near as fast as the Shimano does. This is the loose that I'm talking about. So you can see. Now I have caught some fish with the Shimano already, but I want to try and get some today for you guys as well. So this will be my last cast with the loose for a few minutes. I'm going to switch back to the Shimano and see if we can get some fish going. First cast of the new spot. I didn't get a fish on the whopper plopper. Get up here. I always do that. So there we go. Look at that one. Look at that fat gut. This one's super slimy. Like, he's really slimy. This one's probably gonna wriggle on the hook to weigh him. But he's probably 1.5 pounds, I'd say. $110, $111. Oh, I told you he's gonna wriggle off the hook. Ugh. All right, so first cast at the new spot and get this nice 1 pound 11 ounce bass. It's time to let this girl go home. I'm assuming a girl, but get on there. There we go. This one jumped off the hook itself. Smaller than the last one. Yeah, it's definitely smaller. Still eating well though, still a good belly on it. And it's pooping. So I'm gonna get this one back in the water before it craps all over me. Getting fish crap on you, it's not a good time. It's not as fun as it sounds. Fish crap, no good. There we go. It's a decent one too. Yeah, it's a good one. Oh, get up here. That's a really decent one. Look at that tank. They're feeding good. Alright, let's get this hook out of this girl's mouth. Easy pop out. Alright, we gotta weigh this one. I'm thinking 2.5, almost 3. That would be my bet. Two and 3/4, 2 pounds, 12 ounces. That's a solid fish. That's a really, really good early morning chatterbait fish. Haven't thrown a chatterbait in a minute, and I got rewarded with a good one. Now, normally I wouldn't use a swimming bait with this reel because it's so fast, but I wanted to see how it did and just kind of toy around with it. And as long as I slow down my return, my retrieve, it does okay. It's just gonna take some practice getting used to it and getting the feel for it, but second cast with it, get a giant fish like that. Not giant, but a big fish. There's another one running at me. I don't think he's that big though. No, a little guy. Just a little one. He's still fat though.
All right, so there you have it. This thing casts a mile. It is incredibly smooth. Like the retrieve on it, the cast on it, everything's smooth. It did backlash a couple of times on me, but I think that's more user error than the reel's fault. Like I tried to do something stupid, fancy, dumb, I don't even know, but it wasn't the reel's fault, it was mine. I love this reel. I use it first thing every time I get out there. I still throw on the whopper plopper on it, and I'm still getting used to the speed. It's definitely a lot faster than anything else I've ever used, but I've been using it for about 2 weeks and it's going okay. I think I'm doing pretty well with it. I will say that I love that noise. It's the coolest sounding thing I've ever heard on a fishing reel. But the main thing about this reel is the quality that you feel when you use it. I can just tell it's a higher caliber. Like I said, the retrieve is as smooth as you can ever possibly want. So to me, is it worth the price? Absolutely. Because I go fishing almost every single day. I want a higher quality product. So I might be getting another one of these or 2 of these in the future when I get more bonus checks. The Lose is definitely a mainstay for me though, for the time being. I will never bag on it. I love using that. The Bobby Garcia Black Max is a very good starter reel, and it serves a very good purpose for me as well. But at the end of the day, if you were to give me one reel to use, that out of all the ones I've ever used in my life, the Shimano is hands down my #1 favorite now. I'm going to get a better rod for it eventually, like a $100, $200 rod. I just don't want to spend the money on it right now when I have a really good 7'2" medium heavy rod with the Lose speed stick. So if you have the money, and some of us do because of the coronavirus stimulus checks, if you still have some money and you can get one of these, I would highly recommend it. Check out Anglers Anonymous. They get shipments in and stuff like that all the time, but they go quick. So they go really fast. So if you're in the Houston area, check them out. They're good guys. They do professional work, cleaning and repairing rods and reels and stuff like that. So that's my shameless plug. They don't know that I'm doing this, but I want to plug them because they were great guys and they helped me out. They told me it would take 5 days or a week to get my rod back to me, and it only took 3. So they do really good, fast work. Anyways, back to the reel. I would highly recommend you guys getting one of these. It's a lot of fun, and you'll never regret getting one of these. It's way more durable than anything I've ever used. So go get them. If you haven't already, follow me on Instagram at BashingBassTV. Subscribe to this channel, and until next time, just keep bashing.